Good morning. It's not morning. Okay, what's up guys? Today is a beautiful day to be alive because today we are filming a meal prep video. The reason why meal prep is so amazing is because it will keep you on track to reach your fitness goals. I've been doing meal prep for many years now. It holds me very accountable. If you have good food ready to eat, prepped in the fridge, you're much more likely to eat that than eat some nonsense from the cupboard, you know, like chips or candy. When I was in college, it was awesome for me to have these meals ready so that if I came home in between class, I could just grab them, sit down, eat, study, do whatever I needed to do before heading back to class. When I worked at a desk job, I would actually take 2 meals with me. I would eat breakfast at home, eat these 2 meals during the day, and then make dinner at nighttime. I think it's a good mixture to have a little bit of meal prep with meals that you can make every day like dinner so that you're not getting too sick of eating out of containers all week. It is Sunday, it is time to meal prep. I just got home from church like an hour ago. Then I had to take a nap-a-roo. Obviously, you have to take a nap on Sundays, you know? Now it's time to get down to business, get this meal prep video going. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. If you do, please be sure to give it a thumbs up and never forget to subscribe so you never miss a fit tip with Wit again. Without further ado, let's get into this video. So no meal prep video could be a Whitney Simmons meal prep video without a Crockpot meal. I have found that Crockpot meals make meal prepping just a whole lot easier. So let's break it down. Today we are making a Crockpot Mexican quinoa taco. So we have a Crockpot here. You're going to use 2 cans of black beans and 1 can of corn. We want 10 ounces of enchilada sauce. I put it into the sky. We will have 3 tablespoons of taco seasoning of your choice. You can use either chicken or vegetable stock. Today I went with stock, so you're gonna have 1 cup of that. A few canned items here. We have diced and fire roasted tomatoes. We need a little bit of tomato sauce and tomato paste. And you can't forget your quinoa. We are using 1 cup of quinoa. Make sure you rinse it before putting it into the crock pot. So that's everything. I'm gonna toss it in here and we will let it cook. I'm actually not the biggest fan of quinoa. I actually really don't like it, but with this recipe I find there's so many spices and different tastes and texture that the quinoa doesn't faze me, which is awesome. I rinsed and drained the quinoa. Disregard, you do not need tomato sauce or tomato paste. That's for our next recipe, excuse me. Okay, I'm super excited about the second recipe because we are making sloppy joe balls. I used to show you guys that I would eat sloppy joe almost every single day. I love it. So I'm super excited about this because we're gonna toss that sloppy joe mixture onto a baked potato. How genius is that? Okay, like at first it sounds a little sketchy and then you just think about it and you're like, sloppy joe instead of on a bun, on a potato, delicious. So I've done a little bit of the prep work, but I will show you what you need. I went ahead and chopped up 3/4 of a green pepper, half of an onion. This is where we're gonna use the tomato paste and the tomato sauce. I have minced garlic here. A little extra nonsense, we'll have salt, dried parsley, Dijon mustard, apple cider vinegar, and then we will only need 5 of the pitted dates. These are the potatoes that I'm going to cook up to toss into our meal prep containers. This recipe does call for ground beef. Remember, there are alternatives if you do not eat meat. Some of my favorites are the Gardein groundless beef. This is probably my #1. I really like this one. And then also from Trader Joe's, they have a beefless ground beef. If you don't eat meat and you're looking for an alternative, these are my 2 recommendations for you. You can cook the potatoes however you want. I'm going to put a little bit of salt, pepper, and olive oil on them, wrap them up in tin foil, and then pop them in the oven for about 45 to 60 minutes. For this recipe, we're gonna start by cooking up the meat, mixing in a few ingredients, and then tossing it in the food processor. So we have our beef and onions cooking right now. I have 2/3 cup of water boiling. I'm gonna add the dates. We're gonna boil these just until they get soft enough to be chopped up. So in a food processor or a blender, you want to add the tomato paste, tomato sauce, and the dates. blend it up. So I added the rest of the ingredients in with this guy. So we have the onion, the Dijon mustard, the apple cider vinegar, the garlic, salt, parsley. We are going to blend it in the food processor once this guy's done. All right, so I have popped the potatoes in the oven. The mixture is all made as soon as the potatoes, okay. As soon as the potatoes are done cooking, I will separate them out into 5 containers for 5 meals this week. Crockpot meal is still cooking. Meal prep does not need to be difficult. It doesn't need to take all day. I like meal prepping on Sunday because it's my day off, you know. And then I start tomorrow on a good, healthy living note. Potatoes are all cooked. I'm thinking I might take the skin off of these guys. I'll cut them up, put them in their containers. We have our sloppy joe mixture here, so I'll take half a cup, toss them in here. I already have 3 going over here and Netflix. So this should be 5 servings for the week with half a cup of the mixture, 1 whole potato in each one. After reading the recipe took a closer look at that guy, realized you're not supposed to mix up the meat. You're supposed to add the sauce to the meat, which would explain why mine was so mushy. So don't do what I did. It's still amazing, it's just blended up a lot more than it should have been. This is just another example that I'm not a chef. So these are my other 3 here. Excuse the mix match Tupperware. This is what happens when you have a lot of roommates over a few years and you lose a lot of Tupperware and then you get random Tupperware. So it ended up being half a cup of mix with just like a little bit more than half, 5 servings on this recipe. So you can add whatever you want to this guy. If you just want to use the mixture and then the day of toss it on a piece of bread on a nice little bun, you can do whatever you want. That's the awesome thing about meal prep. You can make it as versatile as you want it. So meal 1 is done. It has been about 2.5 hours since I put the Crockpot ingredients in the Crockpot. So it should be just about ready to go. You don't want to overcook the quinoa because then it will get a little mushy. So this is actually looking really good. The quinoa really soaked up a lot of the liquids. So I'm gonna turn this off, let it cool down before we separate it out into containers. So when it comes to recipes and divvying it out, it kind of varies. You kind of gotta eye it. So I've just put a cup of each mixture in each container, but there's still quite a bit left. So what I like to do is just kind of eye the rest. I'll take a spoonful, try to make it as even as possible. And then when I create the recipe on MyFitnessPal, I just make it into 5 servings. Okay, so another spoonful just emptied out the crock pot. I made it as even as possible. Remember, you can always measure it if you're being super strict on macros. Now remember, these are supposed to be tacos. So if you want to just have the mixture, you just want to take this and just have that, definitely give it a go. I think something that would be awesome to top that off with is just some lettuce. I would wait until the morning of to add the lettuce so that it doesn't get too soggy. You could pop the lettuce on top in the morning, or you could just separate your lettuce out into bags and just take the mixture and the lettuce with you to work. Or you can make them into tacos and take your tortillas or whatever you want to put the mixture on with you as well. So these are the ones I grabbed. These are the corn and wheat tortillas. What I think I'm going to do is eat the tortillas with the mixture plus lettuce. Maybe have 1 or 2 tacos and then just eat the rest of the mixture if they don't fit in the tacos. On this guy, it's really just gonna depend on your macros. If you are trying to lose weight and you don't have enough carbs in your diet, then maybe skip out on this. Just add some lettuce to your mixture and call it a day. All right guys, that is going to wrap up this meal prep video. That was 2 recipes that you can use throughout the week to make sure you are on track of reaching your fitness goals. I'm actually sitting here editing this video while I've been making the meals, you know? What's that called? Multitasking. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you did. Happy meal prepping. I will leave all the information you need below. Measurements, everything I used, cook time, the recipes, etc. Everything will be down there for you. I love you guys. Thank you for watching. And until next time, I will see you next time.